Hey everyone, it's actually Jeb Bush, and today I'm here to talk about the impending off-season dip that I have been kind of talking about for the last couple of months, and enough people have asked for me to elaborate upon my thoughts that I thought I should make a video about it. So, why do I think that there is an impending off-season dip in the NBA Top Shot marketplace? Well, I have a couple reasons, and we'll go through them one by one. So, number one, and kind of the most obvious reason, is that it's the off season. Out of sight, out of mind. There'll be no NBA players putting up incredible games, getting people talking about the NBA. There'll be no highlights trending on Twitter or people debating different players and all that stuff that gets people excited about the NBA, talking about the NBA, looking up the NBA on the internet, et cetera, et cetera. And these are all things that drive traffic to NBA Top Shot. Either new people discovering NBA Top Shot or people who are already on and invested, seeing a player put up an incredible game and saying, I need that moment, or I need a moment from that player. We see this in plenty of different fields where sports are involved, and that the off season just creates a lull and a dip of interest and time and money and whatever else when it occurs. And I think a great example of this that we can see right now, even though the NBA playoffs are going on and there is a lot of excitement, is players that are not in the NBA playoffs and have been eliminated or didn't make it in the first place. So I'm going to use two moments as an example here. So one is the Zion 15K dunk. It's a pretty incredible dunk. I love that moment. Unfortunately, I paid way too much for it. At one point, that moment was going for over 200. Since then, it's continued to drop and it's settled at around $30 to $40, which is quite a big difference in the first place. However, beyond that, even as the NBA Top Shot has had several noticeable bumps, that Zion moment has really not moved between the $30 and $40 mark. And it's a really good indicator of like, hey, once you're out of the playoffs or once you're not playing and no one's paying attention, like your moments suffer because people aren't looking to scoop them up. People aren't excited about you. And another great example of that is the LeBron no-look three, possibly one of the most quintessential moments on NBA Top Shot. That moment has been sitting at around 200 for quite a while. And beginning of the playoffs, it got a bit of a bump. It was up at 250, maybe even a little higher. And then LeBron got eliminated, and it has not done anything since. Even as moments like Trae Young and Devin Booker and Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton like take noticeable jumps. That LeBron 3, which is an iconic moment on NBA Top Shot, has not moved nearly as much as it should if we weren't about to enter a bear market. I think that's the obvious observation, is seeing things continue to dip or be stagnant when theoretically this should be the most exciting time. And I think we're only going to see more of that in the offseason when there's no NBA going on and people are focusing on other things. And that kind of leads to my next point. The United States and the world in general is kind of opening back up finally and getting a little back to normal. I think one of the reasons Top Shot has done so well is because it started during quarantine, and people had a lot of time where they were trapped inside, stuck on their computers looking for something to do, myself included. And NBA Top Shot's amazing. I love the product. I believe in it long term, but there are other things going on, and people have been inside way too long. People want to get outside. And I think a great example of this is there are music festivals happening again. There are concerts, there are conventions, there are get-togethers. People are traveling once again, and people want to do all this stuff. I mean, me personally, I've got tickets to Astroworld Festival in Houston. I got tickets to Coachella, and that's money that I might have put into Top Shot if things were different. But I really want to go to Astroworld Festival. I haven't seen any live music for forever. I need to inject Travis Scott directly into my veins. And there's a lot of people who feel that same way. As a result, I think maybe we don't see necessarily tons of people pulling money out of Top Shot, but I do think we don't see that many people consistently putting more money into Top Shot. And while Top Shot is still in beta and working things out and figuring out how to grow their user base and not doing marketing and stuff, that's going to create a stagnant market. On top of that, there's not a bid system for moments. So undercutting happens extremely frequently. You see it all the time. And as a result, that's what's going to happen with this market. We're going to see lots of undercutting as more people aren't on their computers all the time, aren't on Top Shot all the time, following things carefully. And we're going to see things slowly start to dip more and more. Number 3, the NBA Top Shot marketplace is connected to crypto, whether we like it or not. And when Bitcoin and altcoins suffer, we see the NBA Top Shot marketplace suffer as well. Now, lately, Bitcoin hasn't been doing too hot. It hasn't been very exciting. And I think as a result, it's affected the NBA marketplace a bit. I mean, we're in the playoffs and we're seeing some moments dip that we thought would go up. That Trae Young reward moment really hasn't moved up, even though the man has made it past the second round and he put up a 48-point game against the Bucks. And the fact that that moment didn't skyrocket to 300, 350, and it stayed at 200 and actually gone below 200 is a really good indicator that there's not people pumping money into Top Shot right now. And probably the reason is because crypto isn't popping off like it has in the past. Right now, it's kind of a perfect storm where Bitcoin is not doing amazing or doing anything crazy, and we're getting close to the off season. This would be the ideal time for moments in crypto to take a jump while things are still exciting. But if things are stagnant now, just imagine how it's going to be in the off season. Number 4, and I think this personally is the most underrated reason, and this is the biggest reason for me. NBA Top Shot is still in beta. Now, yes, I know we've all heard that a million times and people are tired of hearing it. But let me explain further. I am a software developer, and I understand the importance of testing and writing code and unit testing and figuring all this stuff out before you push it to production. NBA Top Shot has been growing at a breakneck speed. It's been increasing revenue at a breakneck speed. It's been getting massive investments. It's been getting a giant jump in user base. It's been hiring tons of people, possibly doubling, tripling their team size in such a short time. It's been pushing out tons of new features and tools for NBA Top Shot. And as a result, I think NBA Top Shot will be using the offseason to kind of work on the back end, get everything structured, get everyone on the team, both new and old, on the same page, create a roadmap and a sustainable plan on how to consistently develop and push out features, and just figure out everything, get everything nice and smooth, get their assembly line together, get everyone on the same page, like I said, all this stuff before they leave beta when Series 3 starts. And now, they may not leave beta before Series 3 starts, but I honestly think they will. All indicators kind of point to that, but in order for that to happen, there's got to be a lot of work done behind the scenes, both on the personnel end and the back end with the website, the code, the blockchain technology. Like, all of that takes time and effort and coordination. And I think this is the best opportunity for Top Shot to stop focusing on the moments and focusing on interacting with users and all this stuff and working on the back end and making that the priority. So when Series 3 comes, they can finally make that big push and prove to their investors and to the NBA that, hey, yeah, we are this company that was evaluated at this very high number and it was justified. So I think that Top Shot kind of takes a step back in terms of pushing out all this super exciting stuff that we as the user see on a day-to-day basis. And instead, they focus on the back end with tons of code that will never see the light of day and that doesn't directly impact us, but these algorithms are what makes the flow transactions happen and allows us to keep our moments, to view our moments, to trade our moments, all this stuff. Like, this takes time and effort, building out the user base, building out the database to hold all these packs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I could go on, but the bottom line is I think Top Shot shifts their focus during the off season, and as a result, it'll temporarily hurt the marketplace, but long-term will create a much healthier environment for all users and a much more engaging, immersive experience. So yeah, those are just a couple of reasons as to why I think we see a bit of a significant dip in the offseason in the marketplace in NBA Top Shot. And the reason I bring this up is not to like create FUD or get people nervous or telling everyone to sell. Because, I mean, first of all, this is not financial advice. You should do your own research. You should make your own decisions. You should buy the moments you want and sell the moments you want. That's not why I'm making this. The reason I'm making this is because, first of all, a lot of people have asked my reasoning. I've kind of been preaching this for months. And two, I want to help make people a little more aware so they can strategize accordingly. I think this offseason will be the last opportunity to get a lot of moments before they become out of reach. I think we're going to see a lot of moments dip, and I think you're going to see a lot of really awesome opportunities to get moments that you want or love that you may never have a chance to purchase again because they're going to go way out of your price range. So for me, ever since the playoffs started, I've kind of been selling moments that have a decent profit margin on them, shrinking my collection a bit, and stacking up Dapper so I can take advantage of the marketplace during the off season. For example, there's quite a few of those throwdown Series 2 moments that I really want, like the Westbrook. I've said that many times. I still haven't bought it, and I don't plan on buying it until the off season because I think it's going to go down, and I think it's going to be a great deal that long-term, that moment will be worth quite a bit. And I think there's countless examples of that. The Seeing Stars set, I think some of these playoff moments, I think there's going to be a lot of really cool opportunities. And like I said, I think this might be the last time we ever see this. So I want to just make sure you all are aware and are able to strategize accordingly before the offseason actually comes. And we go possibly into temporary hibernation until we emerge, starting with the new season and Series 3. So those are kind of the thoughts that I had on this. I do want to make a follow-up video where I talk to several other content creators who I believe are really sharp and either have some additional information to add or different opinions on this topic. I think there's a lot of people in the NBA Top Shot space who are super sharp and have really insightful ideas, whether they end up being right or wrong. And I think that conversation would be very valuable for me, for them, for you guys, and it would just be really great content. So I'm going to try and see if I can make that happen. I've talked to a couple content creators that I really, really enjoy, and they've seemed pretty receptive to it. So I'm hoping I can put out that video soon, and we can continue to build this conversation and just kind of build out our strategy together about how we're going to handle the off season. But yeah, if you think my reasoning is wrong, or you have some stuff to add, or you have a completely different perspective on the off season, please feel free to leave a comment below. I do know that, hey, the Run It backpacks are coming out. The tickets will probably start. Maybe we see a beta of hardcore. There are things that Top Shot will do to try and engage the user base, and I am aware of that. But I am very bearish on the market short term, very bullish long term. So like I said, if you have any ideas, please feel free to comment. I do enjoy reading your guys' comments and seeing what you guys have to say. And like I said, I want to make a follow-up video, so addressing certain people's comments and thoughts would be a really cool part of that video. This one, I just wanted to kind of get some of my ideas out there, and kind of hopefully the next one's a little more structured and has some additional voices besides just me talking in my own echo chamber. But yeah, if you've made it this far, I really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks to everyone who's given me any of your time at all. Very humbled. And please please subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Please clap.